So our next speaker, before I change slides and show you who our next speaker is, it's a special presentation. And when I hear that this person is coming out to Brussels or Istanbul and speaking at either a Waypoint or a Spotlight, I get really excited. And the way that I think of him at MetaMask is kind of like the leader of thoughtful innovation. And yeah, that's all I have to say. So everyone, welcome to the stage, Dan Finlay.
Hey there. Do I have a slide clicker thing? Oh, cool, thanks. It's a play. Hi everybody. Thanks, welcome to Brussels. I'm really excited to share some stuff with you today that we've been working on for a really freaking long time. In fact, some of the longest burning research at MetaMask is our Snap system, which gives us our wallet extensibility, you may have seen, and then some of the stuff that we're gonna talk about today. So today, I had trouble naming this. I'm gonna call it authority abstraction because abstraction's really hot right now. And I'm abstracting something that you haven't seen yet. So I'm gonna claim both easier onboarding and safer composition. And safer composition is a big category of things, I think. So today, Web3 UX, as we just got reminded, and it couldn't have been more well-timed. It's kind of rough, and there's a lot of complaints. And you may think I haven't heard them, but you connect a wallet, and if you don't have a wallet, then you install a wallet. You can sing along, go ahead. You back up your keys, and then you connect your wallet and scroll down the list, and then there's confirmations, and if you don't have Ether, now you have to go get some Ether, and then there's now you have to do the confirmation because you got the Ether, and you can't read that confirmation. But they added simulation, so you hope the simulation is accurate and you're not being gamed by a fisher who's learned how to write a trapdoor contract. And then there's this beautiful tweet that was like, if games used MetaMask for every shot, what would that feel like? And it would be utterly unacceptable. It sure wouldn't be fun. And I think games are a great baseline. If you can't make it fun, then why would it be something you choose to do every day? And if we're trying to make a better society, let's at least make it capable of being fun. Let's not have a baseline where it's not fun. Okay, so let's just review the journey so far. You've got something you want to do. Hopefully Web3 has some appeal to you. And then you hit the install wallet, the backup keys, the proof confirmations, the get the gas money. Now, fortunately, EIP 4337 kind of helps defer the gas cost. So, I'm sorry if I'm totally blocking this. Should I be standing? Here, I'll pace a little bit occasionally so you can take turns blocking things. 4337 helps defer the gas payment. It doesn't eliminate it. Somebody has to pay it. Actually, I'm getting feedback there. But what about all these other ones? Well, I want to propose that we solve that all today. All right? And then let's talk about how. But I don't just want to make onboarding easy. I want to even contend that Web3 today isn't even interesting enough to onboard to. Do you really think that it's just a wallet backup that's keeping people from speculating on your meme token? I would contend it's got limited cultural appeal. I'm not saying it's bad. I'm not saying you can't do it. I'm saying that's not the thing that everybody wants to do. And so what are hard problems? What are I don't know about you all. I came here when crypto was about helping people coordinate better. I got here because I wanted to make a democracy. Bitcoin was founded right at the same time as the 2009 crisis. It was almost an alternative to Occupy. Occupy kind of turned into we're talking over each other. It was very hard to coordinate. We're like, surely meanwhile Reddit's got upvotes and downvotes. Surely the digital systems can make it easier to coordinate. So what's a hard social problem? So I'm gonna show you a system, and I'm gonna show good UX and a hard coordination problem. We're gonna solve them together, okay? Here's a hard coordination problem, red balloons. For the internet's 40th birthday in 2009, DARPA had a challenge called the Red Balloon Challenge, and they offered $40,000 to find all of 10 red balloons scattered all over the United States. There were these big weather balloons. And the winning team would get $40,000, pretty sweet deal. And this is an interesting game theoretical problem because you may see one balloon and somebody else may see a balloon, but if you don't see all the balloons, how do you agree to redeem the prize? Somebody's gonna have to hand over the balloon. Are you gonna be the one who hands over the balloon, right? You get that suitcase switching problem like the mobsters in the alley. This is like a very essential kind of game theoretical problem. This is Moloch, right? This is a coordination failure. When we fail to coordinate, Moloch gets happy, and we don't want Moloch to be happy, right? So let's make Moloch less happy. And this could be more complicated. You could not even have direct access to a balloon. The real world is complicated, so we want tools for coordinating under complicated conditions and coming to agreements, right? That seems reasonable. I think this looks a little bit like Pareto hill climbing. Right? There's not a great name for this, but in game theory, a Pareto improvement is a move where making that move makes things better for everybody. Now, in this, I'm showing that two players have two different utility functions. Going downhill is pleasant for these guys. The guy on the left has the green thing. He just wants to go down to the treasure. The guy on the right, he's got this blue hill. He'd also like to go down there, but it would be unpleasant for him to do so. So how can they agree, if they're tied together, to go over this hill? They kind of need some way to make a commitment. Because many of the paths to a Pareto improvement comes through a non-Pareto optimal path. So these things like, who hands over the balloon first? That's the thing where it's like, well, I can't take that risk. Even though I love the theoretical outcome of making an agreement, if I can't have certain assurances, it's a deal breaker. We're stuck up here. We can't go down there, even though we both want to go there. So that's why commitments are valuable, right? So it'd be cool if we had really, really easy tools for making commitments together, right? Okay, so we decided to implement the red balloon challenge in Ethereum. You may have seen some red balloons around the conference at EthCC here. The contract is incredibly simple. Each balloon is this little contract. It's just got an owner, and the owner can assign a holder. So the owner is basically the admin. You never saw them. But they put out little messages on the balloons that allowed people to assign themselves as the holder. Then the treasure hunt overall, you don't have to read the code, but basically anybody could claim a win, and this doesn't have a laser, right? Anyone could claim win, but only if they had all the balloons would they get the jackpot. Okay, so it was a game for could you find all 10 balloons. But we did a tricky thing where we put the balloons in places where it was impossible to get all 10. So no one person would ever find all 10. Now, we had some challenges. I think some people thought it was a scavenger hunt, and so they just searched a lot. But it was impossible to do that. You had to cooperate somehow. So how would you do this with MetaMask today? Okay, you connect your wallet and get gas and have all those obstacles. But how would you even agree to claim win with a bunch of other people? It would be very hard. You're going to start writing a contract or something? Okay, so now we've got coordination challenges and UX pain. So let's see if we can vault this whole hill altogether. Okay, one big solution. We're talking about the MetaMask delegation framework. We actually premiered it yesterday. This slide looks like we're premiering it right now. So the MetaMask delegation framework, let's talk about it. It is a set of standards, smart contracts, and convenience libraries for enabling delegation at the account layer. It includes a couple reference smart accounts, and they're all open source, GPL, MIT, or sorry, it's the MIT with an Apache 2 lock open. So you can fork it, you can use it, you can't lock it down for other people. And we're aiming to make it easier to solve tough problems. So it includes an account called the Delegator. It includes a library that any site can use to onboard to its own fully embedded account. And I'll just touch on, right now there's a trend towards embedded accounts. And usually when people are saying embedded accounts today, it has a colloquial meaning, which is you load an iframe to somebody else's account. So you're embedding an iframe to somebody else's account. So it's a web wallet. It's like you took the browser extension wallet and then you put it into an iframe and then you said that that's embedded. But I'm talking about fully embedded in that you don't see the wallet, you don't have confirmations, the website is in control of its own experience, that kind of embedded. And also, in addition to making onboarding easy, makes it easy to make collaborative things. And you write less Solidity. And less security critical code. Sorry, a lot of bullet points. There's a lot of benefits to it, so it's a little hard to reckon with. Okay, so I'm telling you that the MetaMask delegation framework is going to let you at least defer all of these, reassign them. These things exist, right? Eventually, you're going to want a wallet if you want high security. Eventually, you will back up keys if you need that kind of security. You might have multi-sig, you might have social recovery. But you can now reassign it and defer it to the right place, and you're not getting locked into some kind of corporate-owned iframe-based embedded wallet. And it allows you to eliminate confirmations in that experience. So here's what our experience looked like. You scanned a balloon, and then it said you have a balloon. there's our onboarding story. Thank you. I wish I had a picture of the balloon. They were very beautiful. You know, our events team did great, and they were mysterious. Nobody knew what they were. We're going to have some blog posts coming out or whatever, and we're learning a lot. You know, how we ran it is influencing the science. And anyways, it's going to be fun. We'll probably do it again. But yeah, so just you'd have it, and then here's the cool thing. You would eventually, because there was a jackpot, you would enter an address to take your winnings to. But we could put that as late as you needed to earn winnings. So it's not that you don't need to back up keys, it's that we can postpone that as much as possible. There's a counterfactual account. Actually, each balloon is a little delegation message with a key associated with it, and you can just grant its permissions to yourself, basically. So it's like a burner account. Okay, so now let's look at what was the winning strategy, though. So that's the onboarding. Let's look at the coordination. The winning strategy in the MIT DARPA Challenge was basically an MLM, a multi-level marketing scheme. One team said, okay, we're not going to find all the balloons, but tell you what, if any of you find the balloon, we'll give you $500. And if you invite someone who finds the balloon, they'll get $500 and you'll get $250, and you know, so on and so forth. It kind of approaches $1,000 per balloon, or was it yeah, basically that. And they won in like 9 hours. Now, their game was pretty different from ours. We didn't explain the game in advance. We trickled them out over 3 days. I think we could have had different results if we did it a little more similarly. But what's interesting is this is one team. It's a centralized team. And they have capped the referrals at 1/4 of the total jackpot. Okay, now this also resembles something in network theory. When you're trying to route, let's say, a packet over the network, one efficient way of doing it is you just ask everybody what their ping is to the source, and it doesn't matter how many hops they actually have. Whatever's the lowest ping is the one you're going to take. All right, so that can be called and you can also represent that in cost, and so that is sometimes called an incentive network or sometimes an incentive tree if you have a cost associated, because then each node can be adding their own fee, and it may represent a fee that they're paying on the back end. And by the way, this is also related to how the decentralized Infura network works. So anyways, the MIT team depended on players trusting them to execute the agreement, but we've got blockchains, so we can make this not just like an MIT team can do it one time. We can make this commodity, you can slap it on top of anything. So what if we can make it easy to add this kind of mechanism to absolutely anything? Well, I might say, there's like 3 animations in. Achievement unlocked, incentive trees. All right, that's for you Xbox 360 players who are old like me. Thank you. All right, so here's what our game looked like when you wanted to share a balloon. So I said it was impossible to find all 10, but so now you had a share button, and when you shared one, you could add a commission. Again, you have not, at that point, backed up a key. You haven't had a confirmation. You haven't been aware that you have a wallet. I've got some great video of people getting it, and they're just like, I don't understand. But at the commission point, you have to put in an address. But then you add a commission, and now you can see this person has Balloon 1 directly, and Balloon 2 they have with a commission of 6%. So if they claim the win, 6% of their winning pot is going to whoever gave them to, and it actually could be a chain of people that made that possible. Kind of recapping what I just said. Offers are all created instantly, because these offers are actually off-chain. So wait, off-chain offers? Wait, so, you've seen no confirmations, you've had no transaction fees, you've had no blockchain latency. You didn't have to connect a wallet or see a wallet to start. No fee. And then here's a cool thing about it, and I believe it has not been won yet. There's somebody with 9 balloons, but we've got some good metrics. It's very dramatic. We're all just hitting reload on the metrics page right now. But only the winning transaction pays any gas. And there's kind of a cool thing. Yeah, it's going to be about 50 cents depending on the graph size. 50 cents was like if it's a graph of where like each balloon had like 3 shares or something. So we were being really optimistic about the shares. People were turning out to share as little as possible, which makes sense if they're being greedy. But anyway, so yeah, this whole game is one transaction. All these shares are free. All these shares, custom policies, and by the way, those are just policies we wrote. If users had dug down to the account level, they could have made other conditions. They could have made variable prices. They could have made changing offers. They could have made bids for balloons they didn't have. This is just what we exposed. It could have been arbitrarily complex. It's all counterfactual. The blockchain is used to resolve the game. That's it. So how was it so easy? How did we make it easy to onboard and coordinate? Okay, so and by the way, here's the graph as of this morning. This is inside intel. This is because now you can see how rare the balloons are. Does anybody have 9 balloons? Just FYI, in case they're here. Okay, no. Okay, so the game's ongoing. Sharing wasn't as common. They are all found. So we're waiting for the graph to get solved right now. Some people are very close. I was going to ask if anyone has 9. I'll just let you make a bid for the last one. But anyways, so how did we do it first? We accepted starting with a burner account. Contrary to popular opinions at MetaMask, we are not seed phrase maximalists. We just wanted to make sure people always had account portability. And actually, if you have varying security needs at different stages of your application, why not have a burner account when you first just collect a valueless balloon out of a conference hall? Yeah, that's fine. You don't need backup yet. But you should be able to gracefully escalate. And some accounts may never need a backup. Okay, now one of the core things, how did this happen? The delegation framework makes multi-hop permissions that are off-chain possible. And that multi-hop thing is really important. It enables some really key things. It's really easy to say, I'm going to build a policy system for my smart account system and think that multi-hop isn't important, and it's complicated and it's needless. But this is the key unlock, okay? So first of all, okay, so anyone who can do anything can share that. And that means when you reshare, the previous policy is inherently enforced. And so you have this like cumulative security policy. You can share access to permissions across domains. So one thing with passkeys today, if you made a fully embedded passkey-based account today, users can't move those assets to other accounts. In fact, if you needed to recover your accounts, they are only recoverable on that domain. That's a problem with passkeys. But if you can delegate from your passkey account to another domain, well, the keys haven't moved, but the authority has. And so now we've abstracted the authority, not the keys. So stop moving keys, we can stop showing seed phrases, stop making people write them down, back them up, and let them instead think in the terms of permissions and what can be done. So it's a path out of passkey lock-in. It's also, and account recovery across domains, basically the same point. This is also great for DAOs. If you want to have a sub-budget that can also have sub-agents that are like temporarily enabled. If you're throwing an event and you want to make sure somebody can go get groceries, you could just give them an allowance to go on that run, right? Why have a committee vote for every single thing you do? You know, I'd say multi-sigs are valuable for things that require that level of friction for every transaction. But what about when someone is trustworthy enough for some capacity? It could even be a subcommittee. It could be a multi-sig. And you know, this framework, it does include a few reference accounts. There's a passkey one, an EOA one, and a multi-sig one. But you can add our delegation framework to any account type. It could also be, you know, non-personal accounts. And you could make a revocation as a service. For each one of these permissions you give out, you could add the ability to revoke, and you could give it to someone else. And so you could give it to a security service that now is like watching out. You know, Revoke Cache is a great service today that a lot of people use. In case there's a security issue, they go to it to revoke their outstanding allowances. But what if a security service could automatically pull the plug on your permissions when there were security issues found? Okay, it may not be that MasterCard level of like reversal for the next 30 days, but it's a lot better than what we have today. Cool wallets. I'm trying to coin this. Tell me if you have a better word for it. What if you kept your main account keys cold, but you kept just enough permissions on your hot wallet? So you keep the ability to transfer your funds on your cold wallet, your ability to use those, maybe vote on a DAO, set your ENS name, keep those hot. And so now you can actually have like cold, hard guarantees about what you can lose while keeping the utility of a totally hot wallet. It could be so high utility, you would grant that permission to a website, not need subsequent confirmations to use that ability. There's a few standards we've been working on as a baseline for this. One is called Redeem Delegation. It's an interface any smart contract account can implement to allow it to issue some kind of permission and then redeem them. So we want this to be composable with all sorts of accounts. And we're also working on a wallet interface for connecting to sites. that would allow sites to request the permissions they need. This could allow you to have a permissions request where the site doesn't start by knowing everything you have, and instead starts by setting the terms of its agreement. So I think we're going to have a lot more intuitive and a lot more wallet enforceable connections to sites as a result of this. Some people might even call this intent-like, because the system is capable of enforcing the results of permissions use. And that's actually how the red balloon system works. You said, you can claim a balloon, but only if I'm paid, right? So you're getting something in return. So this is the redeem delegation interface. Anybody can interpret that. This is maybe what a future permissions screen would look like. A site could ask for permissions. And the permission system is so open-ended, it's possible, it's conceivable. You could have an AI that you let help you craft custom terms on the fly. I've done a couple experiments with it. The hardest part is giving that AI access to all the state lookups you would want it to possibly use. But it's a fun challenge, and it's much safer than letting an AI run around with your funds. Here, they're only constraining the usage of your funds. So yeah, we're working on that with ZeroDev and Wallet Connect. And yep. Okay, so what does this all look like when you tie it all together? So today we've released the delegation framework. It's enough to make a site with an embedded wallet, like we did for the Red Balloon Challenge. Eventually, we think that via multi-hop permissions, it should be conceivable to start with an embedded wallet and be able to save those to another wallet, and then log into sites with that wallet, and then let them each back up however they like. That could be with your email or whatever your preferred thing is, MPC, whatever you like. And so this gives you portability. So that's a bigger picture of what it could look like. The spectrum of explicit transactions to key sharing. So intents and permissions are somewhere in the middle. So it's giving us this new space to explore between just letting the site say exactly what they want you to do and letting them be a little more ambiguous. Say like, well, I'd like to be able to do this, and then the user can say, well, only if I got that. And so you get this whole negotiation realm in the middle. Okay, right. So the permissions that we use, I'll give you set up some terms, and then I'm sorry, I'm probably running over. This is quite a bit of content. I'm sorry. So we call the permissions with their custom terms. We've got custom terms we call caveats. The caveats each refer to a contract that defines their terms. They're called the enforcer, the caveat enforcer. And so they go to it, and they have afterhooks, which can enforce outcomes. And you can also batch the delegation redemption. So you can solve for many intents or delegations at once. And that's actually how the win function works in our red balloon game. When somebody hits win, let's say they've got a bunch of offers, but those offers are only good in exchange for funds, and the winner only has funds in the condition of winning, but they batch these together, and so by the afterhook, they have been hypothetically paid and are able to pay everybody out. So yeah, atomic solving of multi-party. This is a 10-balloon game, and we kept it under. Oh, I don't want to talk about the gas yet. I'm not sure exactly what the gas came out to, but we could have done more balloons. It turned out we stayed at 10 because we were a little nervous how much sharing would happen. But yeah, so this is how we solved the graph, right? We let people say, well, only if you give me half guaranteed. Oh, this guy's feeling lazy. He says, I'd be happy with just 1%, And now he has a magic little power that lets him take these promises, make them into firm commitments, in a way that everyone feels safe and confident, and they're now able to win the jackpot together. So you could call this authorization abstraction, because while 4337 allowed smart contracts to stop writing gas logic, this delegation framework lets you stop writing delegation and reauthorization logic. While this kind of advanced authorization does need gas enforcement, we were trying to fit it into 4337 is valid, not user op. Sorry, getting maybe too technical there, but it's too expensive for that. So the person redeeming a permission needs to pay the gas for the enforcement. That's how it's looking right now. All right, so the MetaMask delegation framework, that's it. The shortest path to your user's first aha. Great way to keep your site in control of its own experience. And a dynamic way to compose secure applications and policies. That's it. That's enough. So, what hills will you climb? Thank you very much. Okay. Yeah, and I'm surely over time there. So now.